Hey everyone, there's Athekos, and today I'm bringing you my 25 most anticipated games of this year. This is going to be a mixture of Kickstarter projects I backed, but also games that are just releasing this year or that will be on Kickstarter or GameFound later on this year sometime. So I will just be going through all the games, just telling you what I'm most excited about and also what is the premise of the games and their defining features, so to speak. And I got a little task for you. Why don't you head down into the comments either during the video or after watching it and tell me what games you are excited for this year, and also maybe you're excited for some of the same games that I will be speaking about. Alright, so without much further ado, let's get going. All the games are not in a specific order, so there is no ranking I put there, but I will start with the game I am most excited about, and that is Lands of Galzyr. You might remember that I posted a preview last year of the game when I had the preview version here, and also I played it live with the designer Sami Laxo. And this is a wonderful game. This is a story-driven game, similar to other games such as Seventh Continent or Sleeping Gods. But this game does have a few features that really separate it from all the other games. So first of all, I mean, like with all Snowden design games, the design is just great. The components are wonderful. But this game also has a few other features. So for example, this is not, you don't have to play like 10 or 20 hours to get through the game, or even 80 or 100 or even more, like Gloomhaven, for example. You just play single sessions. Single sessions that last between 60 and 150 minutes. And I can confirm that it doesn't take longer than that. And then you just play a little story arc of your character. And if you want to continue that story arc, then you just play another game. And the setup and teardown is really quick. Also, the rules are really light. You almost have no rules in the game. It's just about experiencing a story, and that is wonderful. That is what a story-driven game should be. So I'm really excited for this. And also there's like a digital storybook, which is really long. I think it's as long as 3 novels or even more, and that's why it's only digital, but you can just download it once on your device, and then you can just use it also offline, which is great. So I'm really looking forward to receiving that, I think in June or July. I can't wait. I just need to finish my pledge manager. I haven't done that yet. But apart from that, definitely my most anticipated game of this year. But don't leave yet. There are some other really cool games to come. Another game that I previewed on my channel, and I still have the prototype copy here because I asked the designers if I could just keep it a little bit longer. This is Arkosa, a bunker building board game. This game is scheduled for, I think, the end of the year. I think for December 2022, so it will still be a while until we have it in our hands. But luckily I still have the prototype copy, so I can get my fix of the game, and this one is really cool. I have a preview on my channel, as I mentioned, so if you want to know more detail about the game, just go there and check it out. But this was an insta-back for me, and I am backer number 1, which is really cool. So essentially you have like this board of the planet here, of the world of Arkosa, and each player has like a little bunker board. Let me see if I can find one. There you go. So you have like a little bunker board, and you build your rooms in here that you need to power. And also you explore the world of Arkosa. There are certain events that can trigger. You can bribe at the end, and also you can find new folk you can put into your bunker. So you have a higher population, and with that you have more abilities that you can use. And then you can also get resources for building more rooms. And that's a pretty cool gameplay loop. This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And also, if you turn over the colony boards, like the regular ones, then you get like an asymmetric game suddenly, because everybody has different starting resources and different powers, which is really cool. And also there will be solo mode that is not included in my prototype. I'm really looking forward to that. So this is a game I'm really excited for. It's a very good game. So I don't know if that will ever come into retail. I don't think so. But as soon as the game arrives, you can be sure that I will take a closer look at the production copy. Also something that I'm extremely excited for, probably one of my most anticipated games this year as well, is Paperback Adventures. This is a novel word game. That's a solo deck building roguelike word game, which is an incredible combination. But now there's also 2-player included, so that is exciting. And I actually went all in here. I actually got all the packages because it just looks too great. So essentially it's a word game. with really great components. As you can see here, you have these trays for the bosses, and here you also have the trays for your heroes, and there's several heroes you can have. So there's like one core box, that's just the core box you need, and then you also need those hero boxes to play. And the more hero boxes you have, the more variety you have, because all the heroes play differently. So that makes up a large portion of the variety, which is really exciting. So, and you see, it really looks, because it's a word game, it looks like books in your shelf. It's a great present. The question mark is something that was unlocked during the campaign. I think that's like the pirate character. And you see like a lot of stretch codes were hit, and this is just a really cool game. There also is a playmat. I'm actually not quite sure if I got that playmat. You can see here my pledge, so I pledged for the entire trilogy, but I don't know if I have the playmat with that, but I'm not a huge fan of playmats anyway, so but I'm thinking about it. So so you see like game trays, which you might know from other games, they actually made that all the inserts, and it just looks wonderful. It's a really great art style. It's like all this a little bit old school here, like these old books or comic books, right? And it's just a really, really cool thing. And here you see the characters, the damsel ex machina, and then we also have the pirate character. Here you go. And it's just, this is just, I'm really excited for that. You have like letters, and you need to spell words with these, and then you also have like special abilities and everything. It's really a deck building word game with a roguelike character, which is something that I've never seen before. So that is really exciting. That also made me think about maybe trying out Hardback, which is I think the prequel to that. So the game that came out before, and that's supposed to be pretty cool as well. Then we have Paint the Roses, cooperative puzzle game in Wonderland. I actually won a pledge of this game, like the deluxe pledge of this game, in a giveaway, which is great because I was thinking about backing this anyway, so I'm great that I was this lucky to win that. And I think it shouldn't take much longer for it to be delivered. I think, yeah, you see here, April 2022. So I only pledged for $1 because I won the giveaway, but I actually got the, I don't know which one that is. I think it might be this one here. Alright, so this is a puzzle game, I think with deduction elements, and what really makes this game is the great art style. So you can see here, you can see the art already, and you see you have like this board here, and like really nice layout here with the castle and everything. And this is like a really puzzly game, and you see that the components are great. Look at these miniatures here that are in the deluxe edition. It's really beautiful. I can't say a whole lot about the game because I haven't played it yet, unless some of the other games, but it looks really nice, and you just see the components look really great. And also in the deluxe version there's like a really great insert. Let me see if I can find that. Here we go. You see that? That's like the insert, and everything is like arranged really nicely in here. This just looks amazing. And I love Alice in Wonderland anyway. I'm not talking about the Disney movie, which is not bad either, but I'm actually talking about the novels. So I really like those anyway. So this is a great theme. I'm very much looking forward to that. I don't know how hard this will be, but I'm really looking forward to getting that to the table. Hopefully quite soon. Then, of course, if you know my channel well, you know that I'm all into the Pangaia games. I really love those. And Unsurmountable is one of the later ones I backed, and this should arrive pretty soon. I think a few people already have it, if I'm not mistaken. And it should hopefully arrive here within the next few weeks. And you bet I will do a playthrough of the game on my channel. I think there are even 2 expansions, so you can expect more than one video, probably 2 or 3 videos. This is a game in the Simply Solo series, so it's a pure solo game again. And what's pretty cool here is that you're climbing a mountain. So let me see if I can find it. So you see here, you have like all these different cars, and you're trying to form a path to go up to the mountain. And you need to do, I think, that pyramid shape here that we kind of know from Skulls of Sedlec. And also there are like specific actions or effects that can happen here, as you can see, like swapping cards, reducing sizes of base camps, choosing cards for different things. So like pretty much the regular Pangaia experience that we know, but this is a twist on those games. So that is pretty cool, and there's some expansions in there too. So this just looks great. And not only that, Also, I added a few more games, a few more Button Shy games, so this will be a really cool delivery quite soon, because then I can also play those other games for you. The next game that I want to showcase is One Deck Galaxy. I mean, I love One Deck Dungeon, especially the sequel, Forest of Shadows. So the regular One Deck Dungeon, I have that digitally on Android as well as the PC, but the sequel, Forest of Shadows, I got that physically. I will play through that sometime on the channel too. I hope this year. At least it's part of my 10x10 challenge this year. So I think I will try to start a series on my channel this year. And this is the sequel to that, pretty much. So this is a sci-fi setting instead of a fantasy setting of the original. And it looks a little bit similar to what we are used from One Deck Dungeon, as you can see here in the cards. Yeah, we have these icons on the left that you can extend with these cards here, but the gameplay does seem to be quite different anyway. And you see, if you have the deluxe version, you have like really nice cards and foil discs and everything. So this looks really nice. You see here that you still have the old gameplay with different dice here, which is really cool. But it's all in a sci-fi setting, and it works a little bit different, as you can see here. So there are a few different new rules here, the way it looks like, but it looks pretty cool. So I'm very much looking forward to trying that out too. The next game I'm very excited for is Earth Rising. This is a game that I unfortunately didn't have the chance or time to play in advance to try it out. I just didn't find the time, but I'm very excited for that. This is by the designers of Pugs and Mugs, which I just reviewed a little while ago, but it's a way different game. It's much larger, it's cooperative, first of all. Secondly, it goes up to 6 players, it plays up to 2 hours, but it also has solo play and a quick play mode, so that is pretty cool. And the topic is just amazing, because we all know that we definitely need to transform our world, because we have been treating Earth really bad. And this is a game that tasks us, the players, to cooperatively work together to transform our world, to make Earth a better place, to kind of undo all the bad things we did. You see, I have like a huge circular board here, and there are topics like poverty, there are infrastructure, agriculture, industry, energy, politics, culture, all those things you need to juggle and try to somehow make Earth a better place again. It seems quite complex, so I don't know how approachable it is, but I'm really much looking forward to playing that with my friends, because the topic is very important, and it's great that there is a board game addressing this topic. There are other board games dealing with the topics, but I think Earth Rising does something way different, and that is really exciting. So I'm very much looking forward to that as well. The next game I'm highly anticipating for this year is Flamecraft. I think I actually backed the German version just because, yeah, it's more a multiplayer game. You can play it solo, but I think I will rather play it multiplayer, and this is why I chose German this time, because it's quite text heavy. But this game mainly drew me in because of the great components and awesome artwork. As you can see here, the components are just great. All these little meeples and the miniatures, they just look wonderful. And also the artwork here. This is just really great. It reminds me a little bit of Bargain Quest somehow. And I love that game, as you might know from my top 20 best games of all time video, because it definitely is in there. And this looks just very, very nice. So pretty much this is a worker placement game, or as they call it, a dragon placement game. And also you have engine building. But the twist here is that not everybody builds their own engine, like for example in Everdell or Wingspan. But I think you have a shared engine that you build, but you still play competitively. And that is really interesting. I have no idea how that will work. I think I was asking for a preview copy, but well, my channel was still way too small at that point. So I couldn't try that, but it looks really interesting. But just the artwork and the components, look at this, are just enough to back that, in my opinion. So very much looking forward to that. As you can see here, like the component, look at the tray and everything, and the metal coins and how everything fits in the box. This just looks great. The next game we have is Oros, be an all-powerful demigod in an ever-shifting world. This was a game I was on the fence about, to be honest, at the very beginning. But I then decided to definitely back this, because this does something very, very different again. So first of all, the artwork is really nice again, and like the artwork and all the components, they are really nice. But the most interesting thing is that you're building together one island. But the interesting thing is, let me get a little bit to the gameplay down here. Well, first of all, also like for the collector's edition, like all the tiles, they just look really incredible, and also like the custom insert and everything. So this is just something that really draws me in. But here is what is really interesting. So you see that you have specific actions here that you can take. There is quite a lot to get into, I think. So I don't know how approachable that is. Might be take a little bit longer to learn all of that. But then you have this shared landscape board in the middle, like with all the water, and then you can put new tiles on the map to let the island grow. Volcanoes can erupt, and then the tiles just shift and disappear. The board is in an ever-changing state, so to speak, and that is pretty cool. Like you have land tiles that collide together, and some things just vanish, and then also you can have different endgame scoring opportunities and everything. So that is pretty cool. And you're just trying to build up the most knowledge for your followers. And that looks pretty cool. This has also received a lot of really nice reviews. And I haven't seen anything like that ever. So this is going to be very exciting to see how the changing game board will actually alter gameplay, especially from game to game. So that is going to be very exciting. Another game I'm excited for is Amass, and this is a game that I usually wouldn't have backed because this is a hidden movement game, and I definitely don't like hidden movement games, to be honest. But I also don't like area control games, and I really like Force of Pangaia. So I wanted to try this because this looks very interesting. First of all, the artwork is very nice. I like this kind of retro futuristic kind of vibe, right? Something that you would expect like an 80s artwork, just a little bit more modern and science fiction like. And this has like a really high player interaction. That's why I liked it. And also, the way I understood it is you all play competitively, but there is actually an AI. No matter if you play solo or not, there is an AI that also plays at the same time, and that is really interesting. So in essence, you have a board here. A board that you all have all your meeples on, as you can see, like quite a lot of meeples and stuff. And you have hidden movement, like the hidden movement mechanic, and also a worker placement mechanic. You're trying to strategize somehow in such a way that you get the most resources for whatever you're trying to do. But you never know what the other players are doing. The AI, the alien life form, is always trying to thwart your plans, and you never know what anybody's doing. So it seems quite chaotic, and I think that is what drew me in at the end. So you also see like also the meeples and all the components, they're all in that kind of neon style kind of thing. So I really like the art and the colors and everything here. So this is really interesting. So I'm very excited for that, although I'm still not quite sure if that is a game that I will really enjoy, because that hidden movement, hidden action kind of thing is not quite my thing. But I'm very excited for sure to try it. And there also is like a solo game. So yeah, that's definitely very interesting. All right, the next game I want to speak about is Cosmic Voyage. This is a small cooperative card game. You can play it solo, but also up to 4 players. And this drew me in because it seems like a pretty approachable and simple game, but still has quite a lot of variety. So in essence, you have character cards here. You can choose one of them, and they are all asymmetric. So they all do different things and have different powers, but you play cooperatively. So it's nice to combine those. And then you're trying to go on missions, complete missions, in order to win the game. And it's like all in a pretty small box, small card game. I think this would also be great to just play on the channel. I'm not quite sure if there's a campaign. I don't think so. But all games seem to play a lot very differently because all the missions are different. So you can see here that you have rewards and penalties, whether or not you can actually complete the mission. And then you also see like what kind of dice you like what values you need on your dice, but you can always mitigate that with your character and everything. So it seems to be quite an interesting cooperative game based on cards and dice mainly. And that's nice because it doesn't take a whole lot to play this game, and it looks pretty clean. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. This is one game I'm extremely excited for, although it's quite simple. This is Rucksack. This is a party game of extreme survival. So in essence, you all play competitively, and you have a deck with items, and you have a deck with events, and these are all post-apocalyptic events, or like life-threatening events, so to speak. So you're 2 weeks in the desert, as you can see here, or you survive being stranded on a melting iceberg, and you need to try to tell a story how you can survive these situations by using an item that you can pick. And this is really funny and a pretty silly game, actually, where you just have to, based on that item, try to put together some story how you could survive that specific event. And every player is doing that, and then there's like a voting. Like you vote for the best story. And this is how you get points and in the end win. What is the greatest thing about the game, at least from my perspective? Well, there actually is a card that I designed with the designer together. There's actually one card that I designed, and also there are a few cards that I provided the subtext for, because they are all pretty funny and witty. So yeah, that's gonna be exciting. So if any of you backed this game, then you will have a game where I actually am part of the game, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. So I hope that maybe I can do things like that in the future too. So that's one main reason I'm excited, but also because I think the game is very fun. I think this is going to be a very fun party game. The next one is very interesting. That I'm really excited for that too. The artwork is just great here. This is Spire and Hildegard. This is a pure solo game but you can also play that at a 2-player count. A little bit similar to Paperback, which I showed you at the beginning of the video. So this has really great artwork. This is a game that plays really long, so I don't quite know yet how often I will play that, because I think it's like 2 to 3 hours here. As you can see, it's a really long game, but it seems to be really, really interesting, because you are playing a young hero, Hildegard, as you can see here, on a first assignment as a messenger, and you need to transport a package from point A to point B, so to speak. But on the road, like during the journey, a lot of stuff is happening. So you will encounter different people, there will be disasters, there will be opponents to fight, but also you can do things like fishing, and there's like a lot you can do there, and this is really interesting. And you see here this like kind of this choose your own adventure kind of style, right? So you can choose something here and you pull different cards, and this seems to be really interesting. I'm a little bit afraid of the replayability of this game. I don't know how replayable it will be. But I think if you have like all these different choices and you choose different things, I think there's quite a lot of replayability there. It's just a very long game. But I hope that July 2022 is realistic, because that would be really great. Because this looks great. I just love the artwork and the way the cards are designed. And you see like a few targets here, and you have like face-offs against larger bosses and everything. So this looks really nice, and I think this would be an excellent game for the channel. So that's one of the main reasons why I backed this game, because I think that it will just make an excellent game to showcase on the channel. So you see here, like, you have 4 chapters, like 400 cards, which is a lot, and also you have like really cool dice here and everything. So yeah, I think this could be a winner. A game that will arrive at my doorstep very, very soon, at least I hope so, is Winterhaven Woods. Oh wow, just the main thing you can already see if I show you the cards here is the amazing artwork. This could be one of the prettiest games I've ever seen. Really, really beautiful. So in essence, you might remember the preview I did, the Kickstarter preview of Zuli, the little zoo card game where you have like different biotopes like aquarium and little desert islands and everything. And in these biotopes, you are putting zoo animals. You're trying to fit them in there, maximize the points you get. So this was like a drafting and puzzle game. And this game here is quite similar. So it's a drafting game too, and you have like little parts of the wood that you're trying to fit all these critters in. So it's pretty similar, with the difference that I like the artwork even more here, and also it is a little bit more text heavy, but also more exciting, because each animal has a different power, and that is really exciting. So this seems to be quite a simple game, but with a lot of tactical depth. And that's what I really like. And also it has a dedicated solo mode. So it's not just tacked on. It seems to be a really dedicated solo mode. You have like a specific card you only use in solo play. And this will be just really exciting. And also, of course, great for the channel. So I will definitely play through the solo mode. And what is the best thing about the game? There are raccoons in there and beavers. And every game with raccoons and beavers is pretty much an instant win. Alright, and the next one is Nobel Run. That's a deck building game, and you might know that I love deck building games. And this is exciting because this is actually, the topic is pretty cool. This is a topic about, well, it says Nobel Run, right? So it's a deck building game where you manage a research team and hire pre-docs and postdocs and seniors. You need to publish articles and you need to get funded through international projects. And this is like a really cool theme. I don't know if any games like that exist. And it's just a bonus that it's a deck building game because I just love the mechanic. So it's pretty much, I think you pretty much just have cards, right? Yeah, you see, you just have cards here and that's it. So it's a pure card game. And what is also a pretty nice thing is that you can also play it solo, right? So that is a really good thing. And what's also nice is that the game is like 100% language independent. So that is always a bonus. I like that. You see everything is denoted here by symbols. I like the artwork a lot too. It's like more cartoony, but I like it a lot. I think the cards are really well done. So I'm definitely looking forward to that too. About the next one, I don't have to say too much probably if you have seen my gameplay of this. So there is a playthrough of this game, a 2-player playthrough, including a review at the end. So if you're interested in this game, I highly suggest you check it out. And I just suggest you check it out anyway, because this is a great game. It was funded really quickly, got a lot of supporters, and I was really happy that the designers sent me a preview copy of the game, which was really well done too, so I could test that out. And that was an instaback for me. This is an area control game, and I don't like area control games at all. Not really. Like the only area control game I would play with you is probably Risk. And maybe also Scythe. But that's pretty much it. I'm not a big fan of the mechanic, but Force of Pangaia is a whole different story. This has like a really cool twist on the area control topic because your trees grow and then they also burn down again, and you're trying to fulfill specific goals by trying to spread out your trees. And this is a really cool mechanic that works really well. I only played it at a 2-player count so far, but I'm really excited to play with more players and see how that plays out. And the components are just incredible. Look at this art. You have like unique spirits, like these awesome spirit meeples here made from wood, and also you have these spirit boards that look just wonderful, and like really nice custom seeds and really nice tiles, dual layer boards. In terms of components and graphic art design, this is just great, but it's also really fun. This is a game I would highly suggest to anyone just to try it out, because this is just great. Look at this table presence, and it's also really fun to actually play it. It's really well done, and there actually is a community-made solo mode that is included in the game. There was a little contest during the campaign. I wanted to design one too, but I didn't have the time, unfortunately. But there is a solo mode that will be added to the game now because, well, the backers did some really nice work developing solo modes for this. So that's exciting. Then we have Aldabas, Doors of Cartagena. This is a very interesting spatial puzzle game that I was thinking about backing, but then, just like with Paint the Roses, I actually won a giveaway. So, well, that is great. So I won that pledge. Really cool. So first of all, like the theme of the Colombian doors, that is really nice. Like these knockers of the doors back then, they announced your occupation and your social status. So for example, lions, I think, were for soldiers, and sea creatures for fishermen. So looking at the knocker, you knew who was living in there. So that's a pretty cool trivia, and that game works with that idea. So you see there are like these different door cards here with the different knockers. Then you see that there are like doors in the middle, and you can buy those with coins you receive, and then you can put them in your grid, and you have like a specific grid you need to fill out, as you can see here. And so it depends on how much influence you have on soldiers or on other cards, and then you can get points for that. And that is pretty interesting. It's a very interesting spatial puzzle. I'm really looking forward to playing that. And as far as I know, this is also mostly language neutral, so I can play that with pretty much anyone. And as far as I know, there's also a solo mode. Let me check it out. Yep, there's a solo mode too. So this is definitely something I want to check out on the channel too. So yeah, exciting. The next one is transmissions. I mean, the theme and the artwork and the miniatures were the factors that drew me in at the end. As you can see here, look at these miniatures. These are just adorable. I love these robot themes, and especially like robots paired with nature. This is just a combination I love. I already love that in Nier Automata. So that is a really cool thing. So you see here, you have like a board, and this is mainly... So this is mainly a game where you use cards in order to move your robot to different stations, and at each station you can do different things. And you're trying to collect specific ideas. As you can see here, idea tiles. You collect these for your robot, but the more you have, the more points you can get, but the more you have, I think, the less actions you have. So there was some kind of trade-off, which is really interesting. I love these decisions in games. And just look at the art style. It looks really nice. I just love that kind of used... future robot post-apocalyptic style. Yeah, weird description, but I hope you get the gist of what I'm saying. And I just love the artwork. This is just wonderful. This seems to be a pretty approachable game as well, because the theme is just great. And secondly, it doesn't seem to be too hard and also language neutral. So I think you can play that with a lot of people. It seems to be like a family plus kind of game, kind of in the vein of the Minecraft board game, especially with the expansion. So this just looks great, and I'm looking forward. And I think that this should actually come pretty soon too. I think within the next 2 or 3 months, this should be here. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we have linen cards, engraved cubes, so double layer player boards. So a lot of really cool stretch goals were reached here. So really looking forward to that. All right, we should be about 2/3 through. We also have Alba. This is not a game per se. This is an open world adventure book. So there is a book, and this is pretty much choose your own adventure style, but you also have a map you can draw on, and character sheets and tokens and everything. I got the version with a few recharge packs too, so I can play it a few times. It will be great to play on the channel. I don't know how long it will take, but this is a really cool open world adventure book. I always wanted to have something like that, and this really drew me in because the chapters seem to be written really nicely. The artwork is really cool, and I really enjoy that. Just look at all the art here. A lot of work went into this, and a lot of love and labor, so I'm really looking forward to that. This is going to be really, really exciting. Then we have Darwin's Journey. This is probably the heaviest game on this list, and I'm really looking forward to that, but I think this will be really heavy, and I don't know with how many people I can play that. But, wow. I mean, first of all, the topic, like with the journey of Darwin here to discover the species and everything, is just great. Look at all these components. This is incredible. This is kind of overwhelming. So I think this is a game you can't get to the table that easily, but hey, I'll be looking forward to playing it anyway, and maybe it's more approachable than I think. So there are also different language options were there, but you can see that this is the game board, which is huge. Like 65 centimeters, which is really, really large. And you see there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's like a worker placement, mainly a worker placement game. You see like all these wooden components you have here and these wax seals. I think I got the collector's edition, which is even nicer. Well, let me show that to you here. So you see you have like metal coins, you have like these wax seals that are like much thicker, you have a cotton bag and all this nice stuff here. So, and also an expansion. And this is just incredible. The artwork is really nice. The premise seems to be really interesting. It seems to be a game with a lot of different choices. We really need to think about, are you moving your ship? Are you choosing an action? Are you collecting research? There are a lot of things you can do. So this will be really exciting, but also I think quite tough to play. And now we move away from everything that I've backed the past few years. This is Wreckland Run. This is a game I'm extremely exciting. This will come to Kickstarter actually very soon. This is by Renegade Game Studios, and this is part 3 in their Solo Hero series. So you know that I played through Warp's Edge on my channel. If you don't, I highly recommend you check out the video because it's a great game. And also I have Proving Grounds, the second installment in the series. I also have that at home here, and I still need to play it, which I will do quite soon. But this is the third installment, and I don't know much about the game yet, but it is also designed by the same designer, Scott Alms, who also designed Warp's Edge, which is one of the greatest solo games ever. It's not in my list of the best solo games yet because, well, I got the game after that. But it's a really great game, and this is like a post-apocalyptic vehicular carnage, Mad Max-esque kind of game, which is a really cool topic. I like that theme, and I mean, it's part of that series, which I really like. At least Warp's Edge for now. And what's also awesome is that there will be additional content for Warp's Edge in the campaign. So like another expansion, I suppose. And I can't wait for that. I mean, Warp's Edge is great and I'd love me some more Warp's Edge. So this is just a great reason to back this campaign anyway. And then we have a few games that I don't have too much information on yet. First off is Jurassic World, the Legacy of Isla Nublar. This seems to be a really cool legacy game. I'm not a fan of legacy games. I like the progression in legacy games, but what I don't like is the environmental aspect, right? So you pretty much play through a game, you destroy all the contents in there, and then either you just put the game aside and you can't play it anymore unless you buy a completely new copy, or you throw it away, and I definitely don't like that idea. So I don't know if that is going to be such a legacy game, or if you can actually refill that, or if it's a legacy game where you don't destroy components. I don't know that, to be honest. But I love Jurassic Park, and having a really cool board game with that would be great. And if you just look at the images, these look really nice here. So you see, like I think it looks really nice. I like this map here, and you see some of the cards. They have like that typical Jurassic Park feel, in my opinion, and look a little bit retro, so I definitely like that. I don't know much about that, but that's something I'm really looking forward to getting to know more about. Then we have Legacy of You, that is also a legacy game, but as far as I know, that's completely resettable. Yes, it's fully resettable, so that is great. It has a non-linear campaign, which is great, and also it's a solo-only game. This is by Garfield Games, the designers behind the West Kingdom and North Sea games, which are really popular. I haven't played those yet, but I'm really excited to learn more about this one because the theme looks really interesting, like it's ancient China, so that looks great. And also, I mean, a fully resettable non-linear solo campaign game, that's just a dream come true. So that is definitely going to be very exciting as well. And then one of the last games I want to talk about is Familiar Tales. I don't know a whole lot about that, but this is a deck building game again. It is cooperative, and the only cooperative deck builder I know is Aeon's End. But Aeon's End is, the theme is not very approachable for a lot of people, but Familiar Tales seems to be a lot more approachable. It's still fantasy, but it's a narrative game, which I really like, and the artwork is definitely much more approachable and beginner friendly than Aeon's End. So that's gonna be quite exciting to check out. So I'll really want to learn more about this game. So I really like how everything looks here. And the last game I know probably the least about is Pessoa. This is about the Portuguese poet in the 20th century. And Pessoa was very famous, or is very famous, for having created a lot of pseudonyms. I think more than 50. 75. Well, 75 pseudonyms. So that is a really pretty crazy concept. And in this game, in Pessoa, you play as some of these different pseudonyms or heteronyms, so to speak. And you move between the metaphysical space of Pessoa's head and also through the physical space of Lisbon to gain inspiration from different things, just as here cafes, bookshops, and everything, to expand your library and knowledge and seek inspiration to write poems. This just looks totally crazy. I have no idea if that game is good or how it works. You can see a few images here. It looks quite interesting. I wouldn't say that the art style is stunning or anything, but it does look pretty nice. And but the gameplay concept is just totally crazy. So I have no idea if this game is any good or will be any good, but it looks, the concept is really interesting, and I'd love to learn more of the game. And we are back at the beginning, Lands of Galzyr, which I'm looking forward to the most. So that was a little summary of all the games that I'm really excited for this year. I think it's a pretty nice collection of very different games, and you are lucky that a lot of them are actually also soloable or just pure solo games, so you will sometimes see a lot of these games on my channel, but I mean, with all the videos I want to publish, I can't publish them all at once. So, but over time you will get to know a lot of these things. All right. So, and as I asked you in the beginning, let me know in the comments what your most anticipated games of this year are. Maybe there are some that you're looking for that I don't know yet, or you're looking forward to some of the same games as I am. So, looking forward to hear your opinions on that. And apart from that, thank you very much for watching in case you're still doing so. And I'm looking forward to see you next time on the channel. All right, take care everyone, and cheers.